Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. All right, so looks like by mistake I created two videos, so going to have to delete the other one. And apologies for that. This video may get low viewership as a result of that because people wouldn't know which one to go to. Anyway, I seen a couple of videos today. One by I forget his name, AC Reactions, and the other by Only Logic. Shout out to those two brothers. Basically, it showed a common pattern, and that is Black women are going to places that people don't want them to be in order to get attention. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And by places, I mean, okay, so clubs are dead. Clubs are completely DOA for Black women, Black people. Very few brothers are going to, and others, and really anyone, but it's always been the case for others and anyone, but very few brothers are going to venues that are exclusively Black women. And the ones who are really are the ones that the Black women are looking for. I'm not saying that they're looking for anyone seriously, but these are the ones that they most certainly aren't. And these are the ones who are relying solely on Black solidarity to get in, to get let in. That's not what they're really looking for. They're looking for men with something to offer, even if they don't have anything to offer themselves. Hit the like button. We're getting into it. So that's where we're at. That's why you see a lot of places that are not meeting sessions. They're not like relationship hubs turn into relationship hubs. That's why the Houston rodeo turned into Freaknik. That's why Afrotech turned into like, ooh, I'm gonna go here and find them. You're seeing it all over the place. These are women are dressing like the club, like they're going to the club everywhere they go because the clubs are dead. And they need a place to find attention. That's how it is. So what are they doing? These are places, the places that they're going to, the places that you have this spill off of women in spandex. Let's just say that women in weaves and eyelashes. These places are places that brothers are going to for reasons other than to meet Black women. Afrotech being one of them, and anywhere else in the world being another. So let me show you what I mean by this. Here, let me share a screen. Somebody asked, why is there only one person watching? Well, because I created two videos by mistake. I created two of the exact same videos by mistake, and it's going to take people a while to find their way here. So excuse that for a second. All right. Anyway, take a look at this chick. Really, well, I'm not even going to talk about her looks. I am going to just say slightly, I don't like any type of nose piercings. Not a septum ring, not a regular ring. I don't, it's something about it. Every time I see it, I think of a golden booger. So, yeah. Let's have a listen to what she has to say, though.
Food and drinks from an unknown random man that we haven't met yet.
It's Saturday. It's like 6 o'clock. I'm out and about in Atlanta, okay? I walked out the house looking cute and presentable, and people are outside, okay? Because the weather is beautiful, the sun is out. So today, I just wanted to get out and do some editing outside, but we also have an undercover mission as well. I want to have some fun today, but I don't necessarily want to spend my own money. So we're going to do a little experiment and see if I meet somebody, a man, who wants to enjoy my company in exchange for me getting free drinks and food and a fun time around other people. But we're gonna see if it happens, and if it does.
Okay, it disturbs me that women like this actually think that their company is what men are after. Men are after the possibility of SE triple X, point blank, period. They don't want your company. They're willing to endure your company for the possibility of SE triple X. For them to say, oh, they're doing it because they love my company is ridiculous.
I will start recording.
So I got to my destination and I was just sitting there on my phone looking cute. And this man was eyeing me, struck up a conversation, and invited me to dinner with him. So we went to the first restaurant and we got a steak dinner and some drinks. And then we went to another restaurant and got a couple more drinks and a dessert. And he really just didn't want to end the night with me. So we ended up going to MCK, the third restaurant, and we got some appetizers and some more drinks. And I had a ball.
Okay. Um, she should not be dressed up like that in a place with tablecloths. So, fellas, let this be a lesson. If you just meet a woman and she asks you to take her to three different restaurants, like back to back to back, which it seems like what happened, you should know that this woman is, she eats too much and she looks at food as a validation of her beauty. She's looking to see how much you're going to spend on her. And this fool took her to three different restaurants. Okay.
Y'all, like, I got to eat a whole bunch of good ass food, which is exactly what I want to do. And it was for free.
Ladies, this is your sign to get cute, get dolled up. You really don't have to do too much.
Holy
Just
crap.
walk out the house knowing that you look the fuck good and do, okay? And go ahead and just be.
All that means is putting a bunch of makeup on to cover, whatever God gave you. Hike up your breasts and put some fake hair in. That's what that means.
Open, and when you see a man looking at you and checking you out, give him eye contact, give him a smile, and watch you just get everything that you want for free. This man wanted to make sure that I was fed every restaurant. Are you sure you don't want anything else? Order whatever you want. That's the type of man that we like to say. All right, anyways, like I said, I am tipsy and I feel like I'm talking too much to y'all. So if you have any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments. And otherwise, make sure you follow me for more series like this. All right, bye.
Hey, y'all. Come with.
You know homie's seen this, right? You know homie's seen this. Homie that bought the dinners and all that stuff. You know he's seen all this, right? You know he regret doing this, right? And I wish I never met her at all. Even though she's just a hoe that don't belong to me. That's what he's thinking right now. He's thinking about the time and money he wasted because he don't enjoy her company. He was hoping for the possibility, and deep down she knows that he's hoping for the possibility. Saying that they're paying for my company is really their justification for taking someone who's paying for the possibility, even though that there's an impossibility. That's how they grapple with with their immoral actions for leading people on. So she led some poor guy on, and she's encouraging other women to lead poor guys on. They've created a culture of this, and they wonder why the nightclubs are empty. So they're finding some other way to wobble and wiggle their way into free food. Let's take a look here. Here we go. The first, fellas, be careful. Prime example, not to lead with your financial status, or just ignore bros like this, like altogether. But we're gonna get into that. All right, lesson learned. Never offer food on her first date. Always do something free to make sure the vibe is correct. Absolutely, absolutely. It's. I mean, they don't think that this is going to come to an end, especially since they're broadcasting their foolishness. They don't think that they're waking up fellas at an enormous rate. I'm gonna take my pretty privilege for a spin this weekend. It's been a while. Okay, so she's gonna go out and try to validate her beauty at the expense of others. Sis, why you didn't mention the name of the first two spots? Did she mention the name of the last one? I'm not paying attention to the name of the places. Okay. For you, good. We love good-looking women and don't mind good company. Okay, it presents itself. All right, let's examine this person here. He he's a person that actually take yeah. He looks like his comments. He's the type of person that don't learn a lesson quickly. You know, kind of like Charlie Brown, still kicking the football. All right, let's see here. Oh, he has contest. Let's see here. What is this? Oh, he's a proud uncle. Okay, that's you did nothing but watch your brother or sister smash, or like. But yeah, you're proud of that. Okay, let's see. Cool, cool. Um, Matt, please get McDonald. Okay, I'm just finding this out with you guys. I'm just finding out with you guys about this guy here. So I'm like, what kind of person clicks on and celebrates a dude that's being taken advantage of for food, and then he brought this is the same guy who broadcast what looks to be a woman about to take advantage of him for food. Oh no, this is my man. This is his niece. This is I was like, wait a minute, because that would be too much of a coincidence. Like I said, I haven't seen this, but right, this is my niece bribing her way to McDonald's. Okay, so it's wow, but he's still teaching them young, I guess. Um, may I get McDonald's? Please, I'll show you my grades. Okay, deal. Okay, they'll drop it at the front desk. Wait, okay, should they drop it off the front desk? Yes, I'll get it. Okay, this is not a young aunt. Okay, I'm confused. I don't know if this is like a college student or why is there a desk? Yes, I'll get it there. With my name and yours. Okay. Um, okay, let me know when you get it. Okay. Can you tell me? Wow, they are really. I don't. Maybe it's just me and not really being into fast food like that. But it's not really worth the conversation. It's not really worth the post either. Yes, I'll let you know. It'll be delivered at 12:02. Okay. Now the grades coming. All right. I don't know why I'm so curious on how this is going to end. Okay, so she gave the grades. Thank you. Still text you grades up. You're killing it. Thank you. LOL. Keep it up. Okay. All right. I don't know the purpose. Let me get out this dude's thing because it's getting weird. But I don't know the purpose of him posting that exchange. But for whatever reason, he has a thing, and the fact that he found that other her page really shows that he has some type of strange fetish for feeding women, and congratulations, like to each his own. Like, what do you say to that particular fetish? Like, like, yeah, see their grades. So it's like, okay, so I think that you think that if you feed women who you're not related to, you get to see their nips or something. Like, what's the deal? I don't. Okay, so let's examine this woman's page, and then we're going to go into how she invades the space of black men without letting any of them invade her space. But we'll get into that. Hit the like button, by the way, and I'll read your comments in a moment. All right. Let's see. Catching Prant. Okay. Oh, she's showing off her weave here. Let's see. Meaning been at least on her. What I look like versus the music I like to listen to. I don't care. She seems to be under the impression that she's a lot more attractive than she is. I mean, to me, none of her features really pop out besides her boobs, and I don't really know what that's about, like relative to her gut. You know, so she's not like an extreme beauty, but in a community that is 80% overweight, she's going to stick out. She's already in the top 80% by not being overweight. If she's not, her face doesn't suggest that she is. All right. Let's see what dating rant is about. Yeah, okay. I'm happy you got a new weave. All right. Let's see what dating rant is about. Hit the like button. Before we get into her dating rant,
that
let's
I
read what
could
she says
potentially
here.
meet a man. And
Disclaimer: I date for fun, not with the intention of trying myself to a man, not with the intention of trying myself to a man ever. And then she does the throw up emoji. What does trying myself means? If that's some type of slang, let somebody let me know in the chat room. Um, but what has y'all experience been? Because 710 of let me just press more. 7 out of 10. I thought she was talking about July 10th. Okay, because 7 out of 10 of these men end up being married or have girlfriends. Okay, so she seems to be somebody who is alpha widowed and beta widowed and omega widowed and even kappa widowed. Shout out to the noobs. Yeah, but she's definitely widowed, and to avoid rejection, she's like, I'm just doing it for fun, which she is. I mean, she's really just trying to use men as much as she can to get back at the ones that used her and to not risk being used again. Nevertheless, not a great dating prospect. Not. Okay.
as soon as I sat down, I did indeed meet a man. Okay, he was this older gentleman, you know, discolored, if you catch my drift. And
I don't catch your grift. If you're saying that he's white, then say that. But okay, you met an older white man. Let's hear this out.
he was, he was nice. He was
The reason why I don't catch your drift because when you say this color and you show the palm of your hand as well as a pitch black microphone, I don't know what you mean?
Making conversation, talked to me the whole night, right? Very, very cool. Bought me some drinks. Okay, cool. And then he went ahead and he left earlier than me, and I ended up chatting next to this girl at the bar. We hit it off. So he made sure before he left, though, that to get my number. So we're texting back and forth. Mind you, this is like less than 30 minutes ago. We're texting back and forth, and come to find out, this man has a wife. A wife. Yeah. Yeah. And my thing is, why? Why? Like, this is not the first, and I know it's not going to be the last man that I meet out here in these streets who are acting like they are single and operating like they are single, but in actuality, they are married. Why? Why is there so many married people in the dating pool? And now he's asking me to lunch tomorrow. And like one side of my brain wants to go because this man like he has okay, and he has very good taste in food. We had a whole conversation about being a foodie and all the good stuff. So I kind of want to see like what kind of food am I gonna get? But at the same time, he's married. So, like, obviously, I shouldn't go, but damn, it's like if this is the case and all we have to choose from in this dating pool are dusties, brokies, and men who are already taken, what, like, where does that leave us for real? I'm about to be like, Bucket, and I'm just gonna have me a good time and have me a good time. Okay? Okay? Because we only date these men for benefits and assets and ease and fun anyways. Okay? I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know though, because there's too many married men in the dating pool. It's crazy.
Okay. It amazes me when they act shocked that married men are still willing to put their penis inside of you. I mean, because it's pretty much like the premise of half of the Lifetime movies. Like the whole like every drama that's out there, every book, every one of those smut novels that y'all like to read, like it's all there. Like the nature of man to procreate in and outside of the marriage is not it should not be foreign to you. Somebody says don't date married people. No, I understand that portion. But she should understand that married men are still going to want to smash. I mean, I think every woman understands that. Why is she like, why is this happening? Like, do you not understand the birds and the bees? I mean, like, why are you pretending like you don't understand? And then black women never stop telling on themselves. I just date to get what I want to, for the experience, for the resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. You really, helped out the sisterhood, but actually, you helped out the brotherhood with that. I mean, even a disclaimer. All right, let's read some of the comments and then we'll get into the main topic. Don't go. Don't go. There are other men with money and food. They only see the men with money. This is hilarious. There are other men with money and food and good food taste that are single. Immoral suggestion. He's going to be unfaithful to his wife, whether he's with you or not. Spend a night. Why? I mean, the problem with this, with her whole dynamic, her whole game plan, is that it's front loaded, meaning that he has to buy her food before she after that she don't really have any motivation to keep up her end of the bargain. So here's what it is. Except a story to tell. And she could lie about that. Let's see. All right. Make him pay for your time is transactional at this point. It's not. It's transactional to begin with. I mean, she's one. Oh, she only has 3 comments in it. She sucks on a daily basis. All right. So, anyway, it's only transact. Okay, for one, it's only transaction on one end, and two, she's just a person. She's just a person that goes to places, and sits at a bar sucking on ice cubes, hoping that somebody comes along and validates her existence. Because it's really not about the food and the drinks and stuff like that. It's about her feeling attractive, and she needs this type of attention in order to feel attractive. So what we're going to do now is the crux of the video is what does she do when she don't feel attractive? How does she react? Well, we're going to see. Once again, and she primarily gets it from black men. And the reason why she appreciates it a little bit more when it comes from, men that looks like the we're the only people out there that are still actively trying to smash, is what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you put yourself out there enough, you'll find someone of any group. But for them to be like 66% of the population, of the adult male population, and only about 2 or 3% of the ones who are actually trying to smash really says something about our desirability interracially. All right. So this is her speaking to black
I
men
have to make this
abroad.
video and say something because this is a real problem that I keep experiencing abroad. I was just walking into my co-living space, right? I'm in Bali, mind you. My co-living space, I am the only black person, okay? The only black motherfucker in here, right? So I'm walking in and I see we clearly have a new arrival and it's a black man. And I'm getting out of my car or the car thinking like, oh, okay, cool. Like there's a black person. Like I was about to smile and say hi and just be like, what's up? Just be friendly because we're the only 2 black motherfuckers in here. I get out of the car, smile. He looks at me and then looks away and keeps walking. And this is an issue that I have been experiencing abroad no matter where I go. The black men look at you like, why the fuck are you here, bitch? The fuck? And will not talk to you. They won't say hi. They won't crack a smile. None of that. And it's the weird.
Okay. Um, why the fuck are you here is a very valid question that black men really ask internally every time they see black women, especially ones who dress like the way she dresses when she's out on the prowl. At events where black men don't go to for that reason. So if you're a black man and you're going to, wow, what's the place brothers like to go internationally? Let's just say Brazil, right? Actually, let's just say Thailand. And you see Keisha there, and though you respect her right to be there, don't get me wrong, you're still curious, like, wait, why are you here? There's nothing here for Keisha but me. But there's plenty of me where you came from, and at least one of me bought you 3 meals in as many hours. So why are you here? And it brings a very valid question. It's not like they're mad that you're there. It's just they're vexed by it. It's like, okay, for example, this happened years ago, right? Over 20 years ago, and I still don't understand why. I'm in the barber shop and a baddie walked in. I'm talking about chocolate, and then she had her hair, possibly natural hair. She had a hat on, and then she had her hair coming out the back of the hat. So you know where they have the part where you adjust on a baseball cap where you adjust the size of it, and then there's like a hole above it. She had like her ponytail coming outside of that, and she was looking good. And I'm not afraid, especially since I'm in the middle of getting a fresh new haircut. I was gonna shoot my shot, but then I'm thinking like, why is she here? There's three reasons that I could think of that a woman like her, and by like her, because there are women who come to the barbershop all the time. These are women who, I'm not gonna call them any names, but these are women who like to have haircuts the same as men. You know, they keep the low buzz cut, they keep the low cut Caesar with the deep waves. These are those type of women, not really what most men are looking for. So that's one reason. Another reason is father. She's here to meet her father. Another reason is, well, actually, there's lots of reasons. But let's just put all of that into one category. She's here to meet a man or a boy. Women come to the barbershops, they're bringing their son there. There was no kid there, but she could be like, okay, my son is coming in a bit. I'm gonna take him home. Was at that age, was I interested in a woman with a son old enough to be getting his haircut at the barbershop that I go to? No. Another is that she's with one of the barbers. It's her father, barber, boyfriend, who knows? But no matter what, it just brought me to this very strange place of, why are you here? Like, if I seen you somewhere else, it's like, oh, I'm definitely interested. But the first thing I see when I see you here is like, why are you here? You're here by yourself in a black man barbershop. Like, so we kind of, it takes you to a strange place. And one of the things that she needs to realize, and this is why they're looking at her like, why is she here? Is when a man can't come with a good answer to that question, it just sends off all type of internal red flags. Just like the barbershop woman. Like I'm until I have the answer to that question, I can't just step to you. And I can't think of a proper answer to that question. Even if she came, even if I was like, hey, so what are you doing here? What brings you to, such and such barbershop? And she's like, oh, I'm here looking for a boyfriend. It's like, that's weird. That's weird. That's really, really, really weird. I mean, I can't think of a good answer. I say, oh, that makes sense. Let's hang out sometime. And that's the same with her in Thailand. And I'm just naming like a country. That's the same as her in Thailand. It's like, wait, why are you here? Like, oh, well, I'm just walking down the street to see who'll buy me dinner, which is actually her answer. So, like, no matter what, it's weird. Like, you being in a place where you're not supposed to be is going to bring up a red flag in men.
Weirdest thing to me. I understand a lot of you black men, especially from America and the UK, are traveling looking for white girls, Indonesian girls, Thai girls, any other ethnicity of woman who is not black. I understand that.
Good.
But that doesn't mean that
Black
you have to
ethnicity, okay.
completely ostracize your community. I'm not checking for you like that. But at the very least, we could say hi.
Oh, holy crap. She wants the men that she's not check, and this is why it's a red flag. This is why it's a red flag. You see, if you scratch the surface of why are you here, you'll find something strange. Because I mean, it's like, I'm not checking for you, but you can still say hi. Okay. I want you to imagine this. Imagine the brain of the person who does what I'm about to describe. Imagine somebody walking into Walmart to get greeted. They're not going there to buy anything because they get all their stuff from Amazon. They just walk into Walmart so somebody can say, "Welcome to Walmart," and they could go home and brag about handsome privilege. Can you imagine how weird that person is and why Walmart would have a picture of that person up with a sign that says, "Do not greet this person"? She's trying. So she's obviously looking for the attention and she's upset that she's not getting it because black men who travel, for the most part, they understand that their attention has value and they're not going to give it away for free. They also understand that giving you free attention doesn't lead to anything. It's an empty hole. It's not going to, it's not going to lead anywhere that they want it to lead. So, so, uh,
We could give each other a head nod. We could be friendly. Because guess what? We have a lot in common. We come from the same community. We come from the same background.
we have absolutely nothing in common. Absolutely nothing. So when you travel enough, you'll notice that some countries, countries that have both melanated and non-melanated people, will offer to sell you stuff. Really, all countries, or most all countries, have melanated and non-melanated people. Um, some of them, a melanated person will offer to sell you souvenirs, trinkets, and stuff that you, once you travel enough, you've already had your fair share of refrigerator magnets. Actually, I have very few refrigerator magnets, and it's not because I don't like them. It's because I worry that in transit something to get demagnetized, like a credit card or something like that, and I don't want to deal with that. But that's an aside. They're selling you souvenirs, some seashell bracelets, something like that, and you're not really going to be always interested. Some of them will say, "We the same color. We the same color." That means absolutely nothing. That means absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean that we're the same culture, we're the same background, blah 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 blah. I mean, does that mean I should like buy your stuff? It means nothing. And it's not that I'm against you or I dislike you. Listen, for example, for example, I'm in no, was this Manila? This was somewhere in the Philippines. I forget exactly where because I went to a lot of different cities. But when I was there, some guy was pushing a cart and selling dried peas and carrots and stuff like that. Just just food that you add water to and you'll have a soup or something. He was selling that. Um, the notion of that really didn't appeal to me. For one, I don't even think that my hotel room had a kitchen. So, and even if it did, I didn't really have a desire. Like, I'm gonna take this, put it in my pocket, go home, and boil up some peas and carrots. Like that whole the whole concept didn't really. Oh, this was in Angel City, and one of the things that he said because we was walking past and there was a go-go dancer outside. You know the girls that stand outside and try to reel you into their nightclubs, into their go-go bars. And he said, "No, you take this and you throw it on the stage, and the girls go crazy for it, right? And I'm like, okay, I wasn't even going to this part or anything like that, but and then he asked the girl, and she was just like, eh. So she didn't even like aid in his sale. And I'm like, listen, no, thank you. I'm not in the mood, right? I do buy stuff off the street. I have in my travels. Um, Peas and carrots wasn't just something I've ever bought off the street, and I don't intend to start doing now. And then he said, "What about my family?" I was like, "Excuse me?" It's like, "What about my family? How do I feed my family?" And I looked at him and I said, "That's food." I pointed to like his cart with the carrots and stuff like that. I was like, "That's food." What? I'm supposed to? What is that? What is that? So don't think just because a person is melanated. If I don't want to buy your stuff, I don't want to buy your stuff. Like, do I buy stuff out of charity from time to time? Yes, but I'm not really. It's not 100% thing. Sometimes I feel like doing that. Sometimes I don't. And you saying we're melanated people too is no, that does nothing. That does nothing for me feeling more charitable or less charitable, and it doesn't make your bracelet or whatever it is you're selling more appealing to me. And her saying, we're all melanated people. Listen, does that work when black men try to smash? When you was using that brother for three free meals, and he tried to get in, did he say, "Oh, but we're both melanated people, we have the same history"? Has that line ever put you on your knees or on your back ever? So why would you, I swear, when they don't get what they want, they just go for like sympathy ping, and they never give sympathy box. Oh, you're a terrible person.
We come from the same struggles. We come from the same life experience, and it kills me because every time.
We do not have the same life experience. I never go out and look at how much free crap I can get from a person. Do I ask for free crap in a flirtatious way? Yes, I have. Um, and this is when I was younger, like extra fries and stuff like that. When every woman in your age group worked in fast food or something like that, um, like employee discounts on whatever with girls I just meet. I have done that. The difference is that I only dated with women I was willing to smash. Completely different.
99% of the time when I see a black man abroad, he looks at me like, bitch, why the fuck are you here? And immediately looks to the side and keeps it pushing. And I just don't get it. When I meet black women, when I come across black women, it's always like, hi, oh my gosh, hey, you look beautiful. Hi, nice to meet you. Even if we don't stop and have a full conversation, we're going to smile and wave at each other and compliment each other or something. We're going to say,
Notice how she said compliment each other, because that values her. That's how she gets value, a sense of value. Like, I need somebody to compliment my hair, and nobody is doing it abroad. Black men aren't doing it, locals aren't doing it. So other black women are just, it's just like a default. It's just like, oh yeah, we got to give each other compliments. Um, y'all are extraordinarily loud. I've seen the exact scenario that she describes. When black women meet each other, even though they don't know each other, they give off this banshee-like, loud, obnoxious screech. Um, that's very annoying. Very annoying. It's a way. It's them subconsciously trying to garner as much attention as possible, both parties, and they want to turn heads so they can tell themselves that these people are interested in them, but really they're just like, dang, what just happened that warranted such a loud obnoxious screech? And each of you in the chat room know what I'm talking about. Keisha meets Kaisha, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, how you doing? It's like, what the, what's that? Like, whatever you're doing, it interrupts the peace of what's going on. Little white kids be pulling at their mamas like, why are adults acting like that? Like, they do it all the time. Hit the like button.
Hi, and I don't know when us as a community lost that, or the black men lost that, because the black women, we get it. And this is not just,
when have black men lost smiling and giving a polite nod to black women? Are you kidding me? How many of y'all remember somewhere around, really it's been going on for a long time, somewhere around 2015, I'd say, because it's been going on for a while, but brothers really started voicing it at the beginning of the manosphere. And that is, black women don't smile. They walk around with RBF. You try to make eye contact with them or just say hi, and then they just turn around and they look you up and down and say, or give you some other type of obnoxious grunt. Whatever they do. Remember, I think, somebody said, even KS said that. But she only believes what she want to believe. So she is like of the impression that, oh yeah, black women always because that's what black women are known for, right? Just every time you see them, they have a warm, inviting smile and greeting. Like that's how she sees black women. Like, why are black men acting? What are you talking about? There's a lot of lies being told here. There's a lot of lies. All right, let's continue.
It's my experience. I was with a group of black people earlier this week, and this topic of conversation came up, and it's the same thing. They've experienced the same thing. Black men will look at us like, why the fuck are you here? And completely ignore us. And I don't know what's gonna fix it, but black men, we are the only women who have been here for y'all, no matter.
Besides every other woman on the planet. All right, so she says, I don't know what's gonna fix it. Reciprocity. To answer your question, reciprocity is going to fix it. Meaning that what we want is the one thing that you don't want to give. And that is reflexive energy. What we want is for you to give back the same amount of effort that we give you. Now, what does that look like? It means that we would like to smile and greet you with confidence that you will smile and greet back. Once that understanding is met, then there's no problem. You see, what you're asking for is a circumstance where the men are smiling and you're just walking around, saying, "Oh, how this is how good I look." Brothers be nodding and smiling at me because pretty privilege, and I just walk down the street and it's like I'm a super, It's like, okay, there's no reciprocity in that. So there, he's giving something, he's giving you friendly gestures, and you're not reciprocating friendly gestures. That's the ideal for you because you really can't tell yourself it's pretty privilege when two people smile because like I mean I'll smile at a 90-year-old woman. It doesn't mean that she's pretty. It means that I'm feeding off of her energy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I help a 90-year-old woman. I've seen a woman who was putting like a uh she was white, some type of white, not regular Anglo-Saxon. She was like Greek or something like that. And she said the weirdest thing because she had like three Alhambra things in her shopping cart, and of course, I mean, I was raised right. I put them in the back of her car, and she said, "Thank you." I was gonna say something um, when you look like you wasn't gonna help. I was like, "Dang, that's not really appreciation. That's more of an expectation, which you should, because society kind of expects men to do stuff like that." But that stuck with me. Now, is she pretty? No. Well, I mean, she's old, but that's just how we do. And you feel that you can just like live off of that. First of all, you interpret it as something completely different. You interpret it as pretty privilege if a guy nods, and men don't want to feed your overinflated ego like that. That's one thing. And two, you don't want to reciprocate. So until that happens, men are going to behave different. Just like a man spends time, money, and energy feeding you, and you have no intentions. And you even say, I'm not checking for you like that. It's like, so why do you want the men that you're not checking for to give you anything when you're not going to give them anything in return because you're not checking for them? So that's what we want. It's like if you're not checking for us, we're not checking for you. So the attention that you hope for, that typically comes from men who are checking for you, you're not going to get. Not even like the small amount where you can lie to yourself and say that he's checking for you. Like, oh, he helped me with the water bottle because he's checking for me. It's like no, and it's a burden. Well, it's not really a burden, but actually, no, it's not. It's nothing. It's nothing. I want to say that being, I wouldn't classify myself as a gentleman, but just having manners um, is a burden, but it's not. It's not. Some 5'2" woman taps you and says, can you get that off the top shelf for me? And you give it to her, and that's not really a burden. I'm not even going to put that on them, but and I don't really expect anything in return for that. And if she did it, I would do it, But for her to think that she is entitled to attention after decades of after Black women put out this negative energy for decades, for them to expect Black men to respond with positive energy is ridiculous.
What? Protect y'all, listen to y'all, care about y'all, love y'all. And for us to be treated like second class citizens within our own community is fucking insane. Like I said, I get.
Okay, if you're abroad, then you're not within your own community. That's the definition of abroad. Um, it sounds like you're just complaining to complain, to be perfectly honest.
You're not trying to fuck a Black woman or have a relationship with a Black woman or have a family with a. That's okay. I'm not checking for y'all either. But at least we can be friendly. If somebody else has.
But you're not okay. I understand that you're not checking for us either, which means that a guy would be wasting his time taking you on 3 dinners in a day. So I get that you're not checking for us either. So many guys are going to learn to not waste their time on you, money and energy. Um, you're saying at least be friendly, but that's an aspect that they're not checking for you on. They don't, you know, they don't wish to be friendly either because black women, quite frankly, have created a reputation for themselves of being unfriendly. In addition to all the other stuff, in addition to all of the using, the loud, obnoxious, the overweight, the fake hair, it's really bad in every way that a person measures a value of a woman. That like they always come up in a bad way. Hit the like button. So is it a wonder that men don't want to smile at the women who've been mean mugging them, like an Omega Q for the past what's it been like 30 years?
Experienced this or knows why this is. I mean, I know why it is, but really wants to delve deep down into
I
the
just did.
reason why this is,
I
please
just did.
comment below and let me know because this shit, it really, really irks my fucking nerves. It takes absolutely nothing for a smile and a hi for those of your same fucking community. I have to make this video and say something because this is a real problem that I keep experiencing.
Wow, these chicks are desperate for attention. So fellas, now that we know this, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, fellas? Now that we know how much they value attention, what are you going to do with that attention? All right, let's read the comments. Saint Zeus. Who thinks of names? All right. Anyway, it says, I experienced rejection before. It's okay. I have no idea why he said what he said. This isn't a random thump on you type thing. Are you calling a man not smiling or nodding a rejection? And if so, are you equating that to your rejection as a man, which typically involves the word no or the words I have a boyfriend or whatever? Like, I mean, what I don't know. Let me read. I'm trying to figure out. I have a curious mind, so I kind of like dig into stuff I shouldn't. But that's just I don't want to like just call it stupid because maybe it just means something I don't understand. What she's talking about is about cultural respect. Black people across the board, we always greet each other when we see each other. No, black men always greet each other when we see each other. Black women get off on walking down the street not making eye contact with a neutral or negative expression on their face. Y'all just want to get in our business, don't you? Oh, that's a woman saying, men get out of here. No, they like it. No, they are like supremacists. Okay, okay, so like I went to details to find clarity on stupidity, and I found more stupidity. All right, so I'm gonna move on. You're beautiful, by the way. Thank you. What I tell you about validation, they need it. It fuels them. This is the same chick who a year ago woke up in the morning and said, "I'm gonna walk around, look pretty, and see who'll buy me food." And she's wondering why a year later, "I'm gonna walk around, look pretty, and see who greets me." Nobody wants who wants to nod to who. Holy crap! Handsome hustler says, "Looking for you, sweetheart." 'Cause. 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 Sorry you experienced that. And then the hand prayer thing. All right, let's see. Hi, I love you, sis. Where's the response? Where's the response? Remember what I said about reciprocity? So here she is getting the attention that she's begging for and that she's crying about not getting from brothers. Where's the response? I mean, because you responded to this one right here. Well, not Alfonso, but hold on. You responded to oh girl who said you are so pretty or whatever. But these brothers, I love you, sis. Like, where's the response? It's the men in the comments. Girl, LOL. Like they hate us so bad. I don't get it. Hmm. So, where's the response to the dudes that are thirsting? Oh, here. Oh, she did respond to one. Okay, my mistake. Let's see. Some, not all. Okay. Yes, not all. I met some dope black men abroad. It's just fewer than what I've described. So what she's asking for is a higher ratio. You see, anybody who walks around looking for free food and they don't feel pretty unless they get it needs and what they do is they burn through men like that. Every time they get, free food from a man, um, that's one and never speak to him or anything like that, with no reciprocity, that's one man down. And the next day she got to find another and another and another. Now, what eventually winds up happening is that she exhausts her supply because she needs 365 of these guys just to stay fed every year. And keep in mind that while she's doing this, other women are doing it too, and they're just burning through men like that. I've been in Asia for over 4 years and never seen this from brothers. Black women love me and love them. Okay, love that. It's not all, but by any means. Listen, whatever attention requirement that you have from brothers, you're not getting it, and that's your complaint. You admit that it's not all, but unlike normal women, or decent women, you need a lot. You need a lot more attention than what you're getting from brothers. Sister, save your breath. Um, Girl, this is my dopamine hit for the day. No, the men talking to you, the men nodding at you, male attention is your dopamine hit. This is your alternative dopamine hit. Kind of like if somebody can't afford coffee, so they buy a lot of soda or something like that. Like this is your alternative dopamine hit. I'll disengage when I'm bored of it. Okay. I always speak to my sisters only. Okay, well, at least she's honest. So, yeah, I always speak. Then you're a fool. Sis, don't give them your energy. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Bro, don't give them your energy. You see what's going on here? Sisters have been telling themselves, don't give that man your energy. It's like, okay, once men realize that the sisters aren't going to give their energy, then the brothers are going to follow. Like, okay, I'm not going to give you my energy. Like that. It's as simple as that. All right, I'm going to do one more that I haven't seen before because I think I've seen the title. So I want to Rude Foreigners Abroad. She has a gut here. I had a feeling she was going to say something like, because this one is,
Myself,
yeah, it might be like a fupa underneath these sweatpants. But yeah, she does have like a corset on with sweatpants. Yeah, okay. So I want y'all to make this as an educational point. Hit that like button. Take this as an educational point. Fupas are hidden by high waisted pants. Whenever a woman wears like a low cut shirt where you can see their stomach, and she's wearing pants where you can't see her belly button. That's the key, because they do this with jeans also. And some jeans are made so high that the jeans is above their belly button, and it's actually working as a girdle as well. Those are fupa hiders. You are supposed to see in this outfit, you're supposed to see a belly button. You're supposed to see a belly button. Well, is that a belly button? Let's see.
I love taking myself out to eat. Okay, period. One thing I'm gonna
Holy crap! Why is she, every video? Okay, this chick is really like food.
do is treat myself. Okay, so this is just a PSA. As a woman, don't never wait for nobody to treat you. Nobody, especially not no man. Especially not no man. Figure out how to
Did she just say don't wait for nobody to treat you while she walks around looking for men to treat her? Wow. Wow. This woman has a video where she's looking for men to buy her food so she can later brag about pretty privilege. And now she's saying, don't wait for no man to treat you. The reason why she's behaving like that because she had a bad day of food hoeing. She walked outside looking like that and realizing that Game Changer's wisdom has spread and fellas now understand that there's a fupa underneath them their sweats. And she's upset at her day's results. Now she has to eat dry peas and carrots because she couldn't find somebody to feed her. Mm-hmm. Is essentially what's going on. Somebody said the headband is holding on that wig. Yes. Yes. It's one of two things. And I actually had somebody make that point to me when I was very young. I was like, before women started wearing wigs like that, I was like, wait, what? And then I realized that that was actually a thing. So it's either that they use the headbands to hold the wig in place, which is disgusting. It's either that or they use the headband to hide the results of their receding hairline. Now, a receding hairline in a woman is not due to natural causes like it is with a man. It's due to years of wig glue. Danica Marie told me this. It's due to years and decades of wig glue pulling at their hairline. So they glue the wig, or they call it lace front, to the front of their head, and then when they take it off, it destroys some of the follicles. And after decades and decades of that, their hairline be so much backer that it looks like this. That's why so many of them be on some, Kenyan Klingon looking stuff. Like they be walking around with the five heads. That's why. And then they get the scarf to hide that.
get your money up.
and always treat yourself. Fuck a man.
Yeah.
I love taking myself out.
Solo. This is the same chick that walks around trying to get free food from dudes, and then when she don't get it, solo dates are the best. This is wow. I hate it when they say period. I be feeling so cutesy and grown. That deserves a click. Holy crap! Yep, yep.
Imagine walking through fire, never smelling like smoke. When it set with a lion, I walked out in the cold, saw the water.
Yep. So this is a person that feels cutesy and grown. Let me go back some. This is a person that feels cutesy and grown. Um, let's start with let's start from the beginning, and the person that really pops out to me. Um, titties shouldn't be like to the side like that. They're supposed to be like together. They're supposed to be together, united, like kid and play. When they did that foot thing. Ain't my type of hype, and then they did that. They supposed to be together like kid and play. Like, what is that? What is that? You got one titty in New York and the other one in California. What is that? Now, the general shape, the tummy area. Once again, this is high. The shorts are high. But furthermore, the shape is the same as the other one. It's just that, how can I say this? Um, the other one got bigger titties to hide it, but they're the exact same shape. And then the head scarf for to either hold the wig in place or to hide the five head that they be having up top, the like button. So this is the type of person that leaves posts talking about I feel real cute. Listen, cute is what you are as determined by me. Cute is not a feeling. It's not. Look at this. Look at this. Cute is not a feeling. Like holy crap. That's like somebody with a 1 inch penis talking about I'm feeling hung today. Look, it doesn't work that way. It's not a feeling. It's either what you are or what you are not. You are not. And this is her with a Superwoman t-shirt. Somebody said body like a bag of laundry. Exactly. Okay. All right. I'm gonna because there's one I seen where she said foreigners and yeah, and of course she's in a bonnet here. Oh, wait a minute. My favorite animal is me. When do I ever? I said I was going to do. Okay.
minding my own business. And this is something that I see a lot in Bali and Thailand. I'm sitting here and I'm just, in a cute little cafe in Bali, getting some work done, minding my own business.
Okay, did she say, I'm not going to play it again, but did she say getting some work done? I'm wondering if she works abroad or is she, you know, cosmetically getting work done, as many women do.
And this is something that I see a lot in Bali and Thailand, and for the life of me, I don't fucking understand it. Why, white men, are y'all walking around with your shirt off? You wouldn't do that in your country. My bad, this is probably a click clack, y'all can hear my earrings. Y'all wouldn't do this in your country. You know better. You know that it's rude and it's just something that you don't do. You don't walk around without a shirt on in public if you're not near a beach or a pool. Now, we're in Bali. The beach isn't too far away. The beach is probably 15 minutes away where I'm from, but it is no excuse to be walking into a lovely establishment like where I'm at right now and coming in here without a shirt on. And then on top of that, the man that walked through here, mind you, you see how it's dark outside? It's 8 p.m. Yes, it's 8 p.m. Okay, this man just walked in. Not only is he not wearing a shirt, which is rude as fuck, he ain't got no body. You ain't got no abs, no muscles. Your skin is pale and pasty and white, and you got nothing but coarse cuckoo bug hairs all down the front of you. It's not cute or appetizing or attractive to look at.
Okay, translation. And a white guy who doesn't have a appealing physique didn't pay you any attention and you're retaliating. I understand that, and what she's saying is true. I've seen a lot of white guys abroad who definitely could use some gym time, and they do walk around with their shirt off. And I know black guys do it too. Maybe I'm unique at my age that I don't. Um, but they have, like, white guys tend to be furrier than black men. I'm gonna call it fur. They tend to be furrier than black and Asian men, probably because they evolved in a cold climate where fur is necessary. I've seen brothers who, and you could tell by the arms and stuff, when they were wife beaters, that they just like hairy beings. But white guys are notorious for that. I see it, I notice it, and then I continue minding my own damn business. Why? Because if there's a beach there are going to be people, men with their shirts off, and there are going to be women with their, with bikini tops on. Like, that's just part of the nature of being in a beach community. You're 15 minutes away from a beach, and you're upset that people have their shirt off. Grow up. You're really upset because he didn't give you any attention. Just like you were upset at the black man that didn't give you any attention. And notice this. Notice how there's no comments. She's talking crap about white men, and where's the sisterhood? Where's the sisterhood? Because this is an older video. Where's the sisterhood in the comment section? But you mention black men in a negative way, and it just fills up, don't it? Simpson sisterhood.
And that's beside the point. I had to get on here and rant real quick because I simply don't understand it. The white people are so rude in these foreign countries.
That's not even rude. What are you talking about? Okay. Do black men do it too? No. But I don't think that it's a matter of rude or polite. I just think that brothers don't hop in the water like that when they're at the beach. And that's it, that's all. So, but yeah, nobody cares. This is just maddening.
And I understand why, but at the same time, I don't understand why. Put some goddamn clothes on. I'm sitting here and I'm just.
Okay. So that's enough of her. I'm gonna go to the next video. But before I do, I'm gonna respond to this comment I see here. Someone said black men and black women hate each other. Okay. That's kind of like saying mustache people and star people hate each other. That statement is true, but one is doing it as a matter of effect, and the other one is doing it as a matter of cause. Okay, I can see your confusion. All right. Name the black male equivalent movie, book, etc., 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 to Color Purple that came out at the same time or before the Color Purple book. And then let's go to Waiting to Exhale, Women of Brewster Place. You see, for a very long time, black women have been teaching their daughters to hate us. For a very long time. What were we doing for a very long time while they were doing that? Making love songs about them. So, what's the natural reaction to that? And hate is a strong word, and I don't necessarily agree with that, the intensity of it, but there is some enmity between the two. I'm going to explain that. Men are retaliating against a group of people who are breeding themselves to disdain us. Perfectly natural response, given the circumstances. Get it, got it, good. Okay, so we're going to go deeper into the dynamic here. All right, and so what you just seen is an example of a black woman going to places where black men congregate for a reason other than meeting black women and wondering why black men are not trying to meet her because they're there for a different reason. Whatever that reason may be, it doesn't include you because if it did, then they would just go to the ghettos of the south side of any major city to find you. If I was looking for Keisha, I would go to the third ward district of Houston or some crap like that, which I've never been because I'm not like really about that. So yeah, the color Keisha. Appreciate the two. Thanks a lot. Um, so it said black men and black women hate each other equally. Well, that besides the thermodynamic. Okay, so here's the thing. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for you to say that black men and women hate each other equally, that's that's really just like baked into the cake. Like that's physics. Their action is they they began to hate black men, and the reaction from black men is equal and opposite. Now, it's never really equal and opposite. That's why when you bounce a ball, if you just hold the basketball and let it bounce, it bounces like a little bit less each time. So it's not necessarily equal for a reason that I'm not going to explain right now, but I get your point. But yes, it's going to balance itself out. You can't give hate and expect to not get equal hate back. You just can't. Awaiting the passport, yeah. Which is, I think that that's what like a large majority of brothers are doing. All right, so let's move on.
Single black woman living in the United States, and you are not at Afrotech right now. What are you doing? Sista, 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 let me tell you something.
Tell us, tell us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Come through,
Say
baby. I
word.
hosted an event for dating. It was really cute. So if you're not here this year, put it on your schedule.
Okay, Afrotech is not for dating. Afrotech is not for dating. Afrotech is not for dating. So it seems like because she has a flyer here with her picture on it.
For dating.
Here, let me see if I can read this flyer. It's kind of small. Let's see. Perfectly suited. I don't know if that's her because she has the same hair, but can we talk? The dating official app launch. Oh, okay. So it is an app. Okay, so you know what I'm starting to realize? That, and these are the ones that we see. There are a lot of failed dating apps for black people. You know, there's Black People Meet, and then there was that one that Trina, with her old faded self, was trying to sell. You know, the BLK app and stuff like that. There, you know, there's a lot of exclusively black dating apps, and some of them just come and go because anybody can hire somebody to create an app and and then try to promote it, like she's doing at Afrotech. Never really catches on, and the reason why it's because a dating app is an avenue to a product that nobody actually wants to buy, and that's the gist of it. And I'm not talking about like woman to man. I'm talking about man to woman, even though it may be true for woman to man as well. I'm talking about man to woman because men are the ones that typically pay for the app. What do I mean by that? If you go to a black dating app, what you will find, and if you filter, if it has filters, and you turn on two filters, there'll be nobody there. Or there'll be like a very few women left. And those two filters are no kids, not overweight. If there's 1,000 women in your area or on the app, you put on those two filters and you will find that there's only three. And those three are there for attention. That's it. So that's why black dating venues of anything don't listen. Every black dating venue is going to fail. Why? for one simple reason, and the women are fat. That's it. That is it. Listen, back in my day, when sisters and brothers would have like an event, pre-internet or when the internet was in its infancy, they would pass out flyers like this one, like the one you see here. The flyers, whether it was a guy throwing it or a girl throwing it, will always have an attractive woman on the thing, but you know that that's not going to be, what you see when you get there. However, back in the day, it still was decent. What you seen when you got there was still decent. And then it got biggerer and biggerer and biggerer and biggerer and biggerer until now nobody's taking it seriously. Nobody want to go. Nobody want to go to a dance floor with a bunch of biggins. Nobody wants that. You don't want to pay your hard-earned greenbacks that could be spent on gas to go on a dance floor with a bunch of fat ass. Nobody wants that. Ever. If we wanted to go somewhere where there's like a bunch of big girls out there, then you would just, like get a bucket of chitlins and pour it in your porch and just wait for them to come to you. Like there nobody wants that. Every venue is going to fail as long as the overweight rate is 80%. Nobody wants to go to a nightclub or anything where it's the women are 80% overweight. And somebody might say, "Oh no, that's black man. That's black man hate." No, listen. No race of men want that crap. Black women, you don't believe me? Try passing out your flyers to a group of non-black guys and see how many boys to the yard your milkshake brings.
It was really cute. So if you're not here this year, put it on your schedule for next year. They have conferences, parties. It's lit. It's fun. Tons
Women your age should not be saying lit.
of networking. Tons of people from all over the world. Like, it's definitely a vibe. Okay, you gotta pull up. And you know what they say when they say tech, right?
I don't know what they say when they say tech.
Right. Okay. I'm here with my bestie. What up, bestie?
Why don't you have any hair?
Hey y'all.
Having fun?
Great time. Great.
Period.
Not fun. Great.
Period. Okay. We was out till, I don't even know, 2 o'clock in the
Or maybe she's younger than I thought. She's also saying period too and lit.
morning.
Later than that, like almost 3, probably.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We went to 2 parties back to back. We went to an Afrobeat party. We went to a house party, R&B party, outdoor pool party. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you can meet your husband.
Oh.
I mean, you don't have.
Okay. Okay. That's where they're branching out. Once again, because all the apps as it pertains to black people, any venue where people would normally go looking for black women are empty because nobody's really checking like that. So what they're doing is they're going to other venues where people are looking for tech and trying to grease their way into. That's why they go to the Houston rodeo and stuff like that. But they're still just listen. She would have no problem finding a dude. I'm sure she's not like hard on the eyes or anything like that, and she has all her hair. So it's not like that's a problem. But no, she just wants attention. Like, oh, you could find a husband. You're not looking for a husband because when you find one, that's when the attention stops.
Actually be in tech to attend the conference. Also, you could just get the tickets. This is not an ad. I'm not working with these people. I'm just putting you on, okay? 2026. If you are a
Okay. All right. They're gonna ruin Afrotech. They're gonna ruin Afrotech for the black tech people who go. I've never been to Afrotech, but I do know that black women have a tendency to ruin everything that they do. The number one way to do that is by being fat. See, here is the cycle of everything as far as black businesses go, businesses that cater to black people go. Let's start with nightclubs. You have a nightclub, you advertise it, and then you get the sisters to come out, the good looking sisters to come out, ones like her. They start going, and then the brothers start going, and then the money start flowing. And then you have the biggins. And the biggins say, ooh, they look cute. Oh, girl, it's ballers here. Ooh, I could get some free stuff. And then they flood the place. And then the brothers leave, and then the place go out of business. That's always how everything happens, always. And this is what's going to happen at Afrotech. It starts with her. And she's not the first one. She's just the latest one that I've seen. They've been talking about, sis has been talking about Afrotech and, for the past 5 years now, and it's always the same story. Like, you have some sister on there where you can see her waistline and you can see her belly button and stuff, and without a fupa. And, she's talking about, oh, she's looking for, she goes to Afrotech looking for a man, and I'm looking for a man in Afrotech, I'm looking for an Afrotech man. And, so she talks it up, and of course this is going to entice some brothers, many of whom aren't even in tech, to go to Afrotech to find what they're looking for. And once these brothers start going, these brothers with diminished standards, and they're just going looking for a hookup. Once they start going, then the other women are going to get wind of it. It's like, ooh, it's some desperate brothers there that are going to Afrotech looking for some booty. And then they bring their fat arses there, and then the tech brothers start leaving. Why? Because any brother that understands what a derivative is or an integral don't want to deal with fat broads. They just don't. Any calculus brother is going to stay away. So they leave, and then all of a sudden Afrotech isn't about tech anymore. It's another place in the black community where fat broads go to find desperate dudes. And there you have it. Oh, y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't believe me. You don't believe me. Okay, we're going to get into this. All right, so Jesse Lee Wu, you are one intelligent. Let's shut your. All right. Baby, I'm in the Bahamas. Okay. I knew I saw you. Yeah, she can't find a husband, right? This is how little your thirst, all of this thirst stuff, it's invisible to them. Why are you doing it? What? Whenever women just read, whenever you're leaving like a bunch of thirsty comments that they don't respond to, and they still like online going to Afrotech looking for my penis, it really says something about how valuable your thirsty comments are, doesn't it? Wow, I want your bestie. Show me her more. Give her spotlight. Okay. Take me through here next year. I'm coming 2026. Okay, so that's going to be in a few months, about 6 months. All right. And that's the end of that. Now, let me scroll down. Somebody says she's 30. So are y'all guessing her age or do y'all actually know her or something? Oh, there she goes. She put it in her love that women are like tattooing their birth year on their person somewhere. I do. And they probably get the tattoo when they're 18. And then when they turn 34, they're like, ooh, why did I put that? Okay, so this is her friend. Okay, so definitely could get the penis. And this is how it starts. She invites her friends, and I'm not talking about her personal friends. She invites the plurality of black women, which turns off the original crowd. And then once they leave, it just turns into a venue that's full of thirsty dudes and fat women, just like every other event in the black community. So somebody said in the chat room, bye bye Afro Tech. Yep. Beginning of the end.
If you are a single black woman,
see, she's inviting a bunch of single black women. They don't know that she's different. Like they don't know that they're different, I should say. Single black women think they all think they look like her. I kid you not. I kid you not. Because they're the same ethnicity, they think that they're the same person. And they'll take some arbitrary feature that she has, like, oh, her eyebrows just like mine. We look this, we sisters. Knowing damn well. Oh, no. All right. All right. Oh, I figured this out. Let me read some of your comments. With her Larsa Pippen looking ass. That's Scottie Pippen's daughter or wife. Let me know. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I did, maybe I have to find it this way. So y'all can see the erosion that I'm talking about. Here we go. Actually, I'll just share this part with you. Am I boring? Let me know. All right. All right, so here's some of the advertisements for this year's Afrotech. Features a brother in a suit. And shout out to Kevin Samuels. We bumped heads on this before. But yeah, I mean, and I actually uh, heard a woman say it. Apparently, a suit is like lingerie for a man, is what she described. So, you know, and I had this conversation with Kevin Samuels prior to his, extraordinary success in YouTube. Um, and yeah, the suits do make the men, I guess. So when we're gonna go for the men in suits. All right. So what you're seeing here is less hot. She's bigger and she's less hot. It's going to continue down this path. It's going to get less hotter and less hotter and less hotter. See? See what I'm talking about? As this goes on, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Hit the like button. Every black event. Oh, holy crap. Okay, I'm gonna click this one.
Morgan Devon did not come to play.
Now keep in mind they're both advertising for this year's Afrotech. Look at the crowd.
At the Afrotech meetup here in Charlotte, y'all. A room full of black entrepreneurs, founders, techies, etc. It was such a great atmosphere to really feel uplifted.
All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, you have that one there, and you have that one there. You know, the hat on with no hair, and she's wearing a minion uniform. See, this is what I'm talking about. This used to be a place where serious nerds went for tech reasons. It probably hasn't happened like fully yet, but you see three big ones right here. 1, 2, and a big one in the back there. 3.
And educate ourselves on so much more
Okay.
about the
Okay, so you have the one with the waistline looking pretty nice from the back, but then you have this. And this and this. And this and this and this. You see? You see? And look, it's looking like the men have already started to leave. It looks like the men have already started to leave. It's like a line full of women, 75% of whom are big. I told you it's inevitable. Everything black people do turns into a meeting ground for the fat and broke. Everything.
AI industry as well.
Okay, here's one of them. Oh, it's a book signing for whatever she got going on. Nobody. So a member of the sisterhood wrote a book. And to be quite frank, I would sooner read that book than Obsidian's book. But nevertheless, that's yeah. See, they just invite each other to these crap holes. Or soon to be crap
to chat with her, and she definitely inspired me to keep going on my business journeys and meet with other founders.
Okay, let's take a look at the crowd.
Meet with other founders.
Okay, these two are reasonably decent. Let me
meet with other
Dang, I can't. All right, never mind.
Founders and creators who are also on the same path as me.
Ah, there we go.
Same path as me. So it felt,
you see that? It's just bigoting and bigoting and bigoting.
Me. So it felt really nice just to connect with new.
You see this? See, right now you have a mix, but once the demographic matches the demographic of the black community, which is 80% overweight, once that demographic finds its way to Afrotech, and it becomes an event that has 80% overweight women and 20% not overweight women, none of whom are in tech or have any interest in it whatsoever. It's going to change the demographic. They change the demographic for the worse everywhere they go, like the Houston Rodeo. That's just an example. Like, I'm pretty sure at one point it used to be full of some NASCAR watching country white boys. I'm pretty sure it used to be that where they bring their son and say, "Son, this is how you spur a bull," or some crap like that. It used to be that, and then it turned into something different. That's what they do. They go places and turn it into something different.
faces all over
Hit the
city, and
like button.
people came out from out of town too. Definitely can't wait for the next event. Morgan Devon did not come to play at the Afrotech meetup here.
Okay, so let me see if I get some more pictures of it. See, it's happening. The change is. I haven't seen this part before, but the change is happening. The change is happening. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. Ah, here we go. Let me see if she has some. Let me see if she has some pictures from the event. Oh no, that's just her. That's just her trying to be the poster girl for Afrotech. And yes, you're not capable of modeling something. All right, let's look at this one. This
I'm
one's
feeling a
hotter.
little FOMO. I'm not gonna lie. Afrotech is next week, and this is the very first time that I had to ask someone to send me the spreadsheet. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been in the loop. I've been like changing my focus, switching gears. And I was talking to my best friend yesterday about this. I'm just like, yo, for the first time, I'm feeling the FOMO because for the last like 3 years, I've been at Afrotech. I've been the 2 years that it was in Austin, and I went last year for the first time in Houston. And so every single time I'm
Okay, so obviously we have a tech groupie chick here, but I want y'all to pay attention to what I was telling y'all earlier. In fact, I want to see if my lesson stuck. Point out what I'm thinking about when you look at her. I want to see if my lessons is sinking in, is sinking in to your brains. So let me know that. I'm reading some of your comments while y'all do. Y'all let me know. Then take $20 to get tailored and you in there like swimwear. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. All right. Somebody said I see an older chick. No, that wasn't part of the lesson today. Come on now. They probably can't turn on the computer. The funniest thing I've seen was an episode of King of the Hill where Hank Hill picked up the mice and started clicking it like it was a remote, thinking the computer was going to turn on. I was cracking up. All right. Somebody say broadcasting from Cybertron. Wow, it's that bad, huh? All right. Let's see. It's better now. Good. All right. She may have a Keisha mindset, but I wouldn't mind trying her out on my roster, maybe giving her a 10-day contract. Yeah. And I know who you're talking about. And yeah, she does. The problem is that that used to be the case. But now women like that, especially by the age of 34, they come to realize that they are good enough to bed and good enough for head, but not good enough to wed. They understand that. So what they do is they take your desire to bed them and turn it into as much attention as possible. Take the limits of Afrotech. Elaborate. All right. She looks better, but she talks the same. Yep. Yeah, the whole period. And yeah. Dang, y'all still haven't got it. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody got it. I just gave that. Y'all don't be listening to me. Okay, so no, y'all getting it. Okay, so yeah, high jeans. Yeah. Oh no, this same person. Yeah, only one person got it. Yeah, it's yes, the high jeans. Okay, let me show y'all what I mean. This crease here really goes up to like the waist bone. That's where the leg meets the waist. In that crease here. That's how you walk and stuff. And then you have some inches that go up, and then you have the belt around where the belly button should be. She's hiding a fupa. This is what I was describing to you. This is what I was describing to you. This is a fupa. She's hiding a fupa.
Always a part of the mix. I'm going to the little parties, the gatherings. I went to the conference. Usually I'm networking with professionals. So I'm already up in that thing, doing content, being a content creator, whatever have you. Like I have been an Afrotech fan down. Okay. But this year it just feels different because I have to switch gears. I'm going through this career change and it's just really forcing me to kind of lock in and to focus, right? And so I think this has a lot to say about just the fear of missing out. This is real, but if you don't understand like why you're going to something, especially with me, like I love events, I love community, but after a while, if you realize that you're just going just to go, and you're not being purposeful with the connections, you're not following up, you don't have a game plan on what you want to get out of that event, and you're really just going just to waste time and money. And so at this point of my life,
Okay. But then you don't know. You know on a subconscious level why you were going, and that's for attention. From men in suits, and that's why you went for the last 3 years. And now but you never really externalized that. You never really said to yourself, "Why am I going?" Well, you're saying to yourself now, and you're like, you don't want to answer your own question with attention, so you just concluded like there's no reason to go at all.
in my career, I have to be very picky about what I spend my time on because a lot of the energy and focus is going towards switching gears altogether and getting into a new industry in one of the most challenging economic times. So that's where I'm at. And I always have to remind myself of this. And I know as soon as everybody start coming into the city, I'm going to be feeling like, I'm just going to have to like just be off social for a minute. Because
Okay, this is she's boring. She sucks. This is about okay. This one got some. What we're doing is monitoring the rate of decline. And this isn't me hating on Afrotech. If you go for the tech. Um, this is me just predicting what it's going to turn into in the next 5 to 10 years, because I've seen it happen so many times, so many places.
So far, so good. I went to a couple of guys.
See, this is what I would go for. A lot of not suited brothers, who look like they're actually in tech
I'm getting out of it.
with the backpack on, like just cause. See, this is what I would go for, and I was tripping on that. Like, why are the suited people there? You could tell, like, this is tech. I don't know what, like, this is tech. This is church. This is tech. This is church. I like when I went to Desby events, I was thinking that, like, this is tech. This is church. What are you doing? Okay, this is a combination of both. Okay, so that was a quick slide. Somebody said they're trying to build a harem of tech penis. That's funny. I mean, it seems like they're trying to do to tech brothers the same thing they do to all the other brothers, and it's not. Holy crap! Let's see if this one has like clips and slides. She's actually kind of cute. She look African. Okay, there's a conference, but it's in the dark. So, ooh, braces. For those of you who don't know, I like braces. All right, she's more of the before variety. So, but I'm telling you, like, not this year, but in 2027, if I'm still doing YouTube, I'm going to show y'all. Um, and it's going to be bigger and bigger. Let's see what she has to
Let's
say.
talk about the three major conferences you should be attending this year. One is Afrotech. I've heard a lot of good things about the conference, especially when it comes to networking. For number two, the NESB annual convention. I used to be heavily involved in NESB, and during that time, I
Okay,
attended.
so at least she is tech. By the way, NSBE is National Society of Black Engineers. So at least she is tech. Can't take that from her. So everything else she says, like, I can't really hold anything against her at this point.
Attended a lot of their conferences, and they were really good, especially when it comes to job opportunities and networking. And for the third one, this is for Black women who are into anything data related. It's called the Black Women in Data Summit. I think the summit is open to everyone, but it's for Black women specifically. And when you're attending these conferences, make sure you have an agenda, you have a plan, have your resume in hand, and be ready to talk to people. And we're done with our beat. Let's talk about the three major conferences.
Okay, the makeup and all that other stuff aside, um, I wouldn't mind meeting a sister like that. Someone, because once again, you ask the question, "Why are you here?" And if her answer is the Black Women Data Summit, like, oh, okay. And she said, I've been going to NSB events for years since I was, in college and at NSB, and um, then you can have a conversation. But if you ask the other ones, why are you here? Oh, I'm looking for a husband, and it's gonna be lit tonight. It's like, okay, you're degrading the quality of the event, which she is not. So I'll hand that to her. Let me say that Black people are the most pointless networkers. Their idea of networkers boil down to, I know a company that's hiring. Yeah, but it's the only one we have. I definitely agree with that statement, but it's the only one we have, unfortunately. All right. Let's see. Here's a brother that says something. Let's see. Oh, this one says, "Don't waste your time attending Afrotech." So let's let's see what's happening here. Wait, did she say Afrotech or Afro Nation? Okay, so I think this is something unrelated, but okay. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it because whatever this is, ooh, upskirt. Hold on. Let me go back. I like some upskirt. Yep, yep. There we go. Yep. I like me some upskirt, some white panties. There we go. All right. So most events in the Black community start off like this, with attractive women and brothers with standards who are meeting these attractive women. You see this one right here with the upskirt, and then you see the slim women in the background, and then you have this one walk by and kind of upskirt, but still nice physique, and you're like, okay, this is something I want to go, and then the fellas start going, and then the biggins, they get a whiff of all, they whiff it like food. They whiff it. Once they get a whiff of a large concentration of black men going, even though they're going for the women like this and this, that don't stop them from herding. They heard. They like buffalo. They heard. They heard the events. They heard it. And then the brother stopped going. And the upskirt stopped showing. And that's the end of that. That's the end of that. So, gonna get out of this because this wasn't really what I was talking about, but upskirt. All right. Oh, this this no. Oh crap. Every now and again, and this one is showing up. So let me see if it's like one off, and I'll just click the one before it and see if she comes up. See how quick I figured that out? That's IQ and shit. All right, so let's see what she has to say.
Hi, my name is Brittany King. I am your neighborhood hope dealer. That means I deal hope with my words. I am the founder and CEO of Amplify Allyship. We teach companies how to use allyship as their competitive advantage. I'm also the girl who created the viral Afrotech is Unprofessional video last year. I'll drop it here.
As a former corporate leader that owned budgets for events like Afrotech, I'm really disappointed that it was just a party scene and it was so unprofessional.
Oh, okay.
Psych, y'all thought I was going.
Oh, crap. Okay, so remember the change I was telling you about? Apparently it's already happening. It's already happening. Like, this is what happens when stuff becomes not about what it originally, and it becomes a place where broke men look for fat women and vice versa. Everything in the black community eventually devolves into that. Everything. And you want to know why? Because there's no one at the door. So when I first started going, I was in my 20s when I first started going to like white parties, clubs, events. And there's always a screener. There's always a screener. I don't know what they screen for with the fellas. I do know that I did that me and my boys always got in. But they screened. Not for weapons like they do in the black clubs. I do believe strongly that they screen women based on looks, age, and fatness level, obviously. And of course, dress. And because they don't do that, in the black community, we don't do that, eventually, all things turn into depraved fatness. Look at this one here. Look at it. She looked like King Kong, chewed some bubble gum, and spit it out, and then turned into her. Like, that's what's there. Oh, then Laney, you got to remove that comment. Don't name other places. Don't name other places. So, there's Comic-Con, and then there's other nerd conventions related to Comic-Con. These are lesser known. I wouldn't doubt that Comic-Con turned the same way Afrotech did, just without the blackness to it. But yes, whenever you have a collection of men gathered together for whatever reason, in this case, comic book related stuff, you're going to have a group of women who are going there for said men. And eventually, because we're dealing in a pool of low quality women, you're going to have a group of low quality women go to these events. You know, nobody wants to see a 250-pound woman dressed up as Princess Leia. Nobody want to see that crap. We just don't. And then the events stop being less what it was about, and that is where comic book enthusiasts get to a place where they go and find like-minded people, and then it turns into what we see here, and that is the club. Big Women put Spirit Airlines out of business. Why? Because it really, and they don't say this, they say a whole bunch of other stuff, but really what it came down to is that it takes more gas to fly fat bitches. It takes more jet fuel to fly fat bitches within the country. And that's the harsh truth of it. And they ran out of gas money.
Get on Beyonce's internet and talk about the excellence that is Black culture.
But I don't want you to waste your time at Afrotech this year if any of these three things apply to you. Okay, so number one, if you are going to focus on attending instead of taking action, do not waste your time. What do I mean? So many people think that going to Afrotech, just being there in and of itself is going to solve your problems. If you go to Afrotech without intention of the value that you want to add and the things that you want to receive, please don't waste your time. Number two, I want you to think about relationships instead of receiving. One of the craziest things to me, whenever I go networking or conferences, is people always go in the mindset of what I need, right? And I understand, okay, 300,000 plus Black women have been laid off in the last several months. But let's be very clear, relationships rule at any given time. So you cannot simply go to Afrotech, connect with somebody, say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Help me get a job. Can you help me get a referral? And then you don't ever connect with them again until you need something else. The people who are decision makers receive such an abundance.
I agree with that. Number one really didn't make much sense to me, but I definitely agree with number two. Because there is nothing more annoying than those people are users. Those people are users. So, y'all remember the movie Hustle and Flow, where I forget whatever Terrence Howard's character name, and he met up with dude, and then he said, "There's two types of people. There's people who walk the walk, and there's people who talk the talk." They try to, and then he was like, "They try to get me to do the walking for them." That's a very true thing. That's a very true statement. You know, um, and these are the people who don't maintain friendships, but they go to places like Afrotech and they look for temporary friendships. Like a true connection is when somebody that you've known, that you've been kicking it with for a while, and then when something comes up, it's like, okay, I know somebody in that. It's not like when you, but it's just pure business when you just go to somewhere um, directly. Like, say you need a lawyer, right? Say you have a friend that's a lawyer. This person is a divorce attorney, and y'all been, he's been to the cookouts, he's been to your kids' birthday parties, and you've been to his kids' birthday parties for years. Y'all been developing connections, and then all of a sudden you're going through a divorce, and it's like, okay, well, I know this guy. Versus going to a legal convention and say, hey, so looking for a lawyer on the cheap. It's a whole different feel. You're right.
of people who are asking instead of adding value. So, a part of your intention should be to deepen your relationships. Now, look, I am someone who never meets a stranger. And one of the things that I do for relationships that I really want to build, I will actually put it on my calendar to connect with them quarterly. Whether it's just a, hey, I was just thinking about you. I saw this article that made me think of you. Move with intention and focus on relationship.
Agreed.
Okay, so the final thing is this. If you
I gotta hand it to her. 2 and 3, I definitely agree with. Like, we do not maintain. Black people don't maintain solid connections, but they just go to people directly on what they're looking for. People come out of nowhere like, "Hey, I heard you do computers." Yeah, those people.
are going to simply critique instead of contribute, Afrotech is not the place for you. And let me tell you what I mean. Afrotech receives a lot of criticism around just being a place where people party or, I didn't get a job, this and this and that. It's like anything else. It is like anything else. The grass is greener where you water it. So the only way you will get consumed by the party scene is if you're on the party scene. The only way you are not having deep relationships and deep outcomes from Afrotech is if you're not fostering deep relationships and outcome. We all have an opportunity to do and be better. As someone who produces events now, I get it, right? Like, there's always room for improvement, but let's be very clear. Afrotech is a once in a lifetime opportunity that connects culture with community. So here's the truth.
Okay.
Come to Afrotech and keep these things in mind.
I so yeah, that's kind of weird thing to say. Um, yeah, Uh, let's see what she's talking about, but I don't really know if the subject matter has anything to do with Afro. No, she's just thirst trapping. All right, I'm gonna ignore that because I was gonna look and see like, okay, is this an Afro type thing? But no, she's just in a hotel cutting her hair. Like, I swear, the need for attention and validation is vast. All right, here we go. Let's see what she has to say. Oh, it's doing that thing again. I forgot. All right, so that's a major bug in TikTok. So let me do the one before it. Nope, that's not it either. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with it. TikTok really needs. They maintain connections over ratchet. Trust me, yeah, yeah, I do notice that about Black people, which is quite unfortunate. Um, and that's because they need constant drama to stimulate them. You know, whenever you are dealing with a woman like that, I'm not talking about Black women, but exhibits behavior like that, meaning that she's always gossiping to her friend. I mean, all women gossip, but whenever it's extreme hatred in the gossip and relationship issues and relationships that her friends choose to deal with, um, you're going to have a very difficult time in that relationship because they look at gossip as a currency, a shared currency. And every now and again, each party has to contribute, meaning that it's your turn. One day, it's going to be your turn to contribute. It's going to be her turn to contribute. She's going to have to create drama in a relationship so they can have something to talk about, or else she's just a spectator and she'll be kicked out of the sisterhood post haste. They're like, listen, We've been popping our necks at our boyfriend for a long time, and and telling ratchet stories for a long time. You need to have a ratchet story to tell, or else you're going to be out of this coven. All right, let me just see what this one has to say before I head out.
So I've been to Afrotech a few times in the past. I don't really go anymore because I don't want to work in tech anymore. But I do want to give a word of advice for the girls who are in tech and who are not in tech, who are going to Afrotech to only or purposely go and find a man. Does anyone remember the movie
Very little.
21 Jump Street, the remake, not the TV show, in which there was this scene in which they observed that like the stereotype of like the cool kid and the jock and the cheerleader is actually not the cool kid anymore, and the new stereotype of like the nerds and the people who care about the environment and like the kids who were kind of excelling in life are now the new cool kids. That is kind of how I feel about the men that go to Afrotech. Stick with me, ladies. It is an environment in which there are a lot of men who didn't necessarily have what's the nice word that I can use? A lot of pull in an earlier part in their life. And now they kind of have a little bit of leverage or a glow up, if you will. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. But the thing is, when sometimes those things happen to you later in life, it kind of becomes like a clout disease. And they take these associations with these certain companies or these certain salaries to their head. And I can speak for myself as someone who has worked at all of these companies and has been in association with all of these men since.
Okay, this is weird. Basically, okay, here's what she's saying. What they want is humble money. They want a guy who is high value that don't know he's high value. That's what they want. And what she's saying in a nutshell is if you are going to Afrotech to look for a high value man who doesn't know he's a high value man, then you're barking up the wrong bush. That's what she's getting at. The whole he wasn't that dude in high school and stuff like that, that's not really relevant at all. And I'm trying to think about how. Like, what is that? Okay, let me make something blatantly clear. Let me make something blatantly clear about black women, black high schools, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Nobody was ever that dude if you went to a black high school. Black high schools make it a point to humble the men in it or the boys in it. So you hear about like these white high schools where, the captain of the football team just drop all the panties in the school. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to the captain of the anything team in a black high school setting. It just doesn't. The whole system, the whole black community is designed to humble the men within it. She failed to mention that 21 Jump Street was not a black high school. And because I get what she's saying. She's saying like the dynamic change from jock to nerd in 21 Jump Street. it was never about jocks or nerds. We actually don't even have like a black equivalent to the word jock or nerd. So no, sweetie, it's not. It's not really like that. Did some guys have advantages? Absolutely, absolutely. Did athletes have advantages over non-athletes? Absolutely, absolutely. Was it like this huge thing? Okay, I'm trying to think of like, oh, perfect. Two perfect examples of high schools, right? Dang, I can't remember the freaking movie. Help me out in the chat room. What's the name of that movie where dude came and said to his father, "I don't want your life," and then that one chick just came out of nowhere with the whipped cream bikini, and he didn't know what to do with it. What's the name of that movie? So we're gonna take that movie, and then we're going to compare that to Coach Carter. So on Coach Carter, you had the male athletes and stuff like that. Yeah, they got, they got their fair share more than, a non-athlete would get. They had pretty girlfriends and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, when they went to the white party, they got a lot of play because white women actually are attracted to potential success. But um amount around the black women, they really just got like regular play, regular action. There was no whipped cream bikinis. There was no Varsity Blues. Thank you. Like Varsity Blues, those dudes was slaying. They were stealing police cars, and then having a bunch of naked chicks in the police cars that they were stealing. Just waiting to get down with a football. They made being a football player like like you a king of the universe. But if you're a black athlete in a black school, you just get a little bit more than average. You just get a little bit more than average. And that's the truth of it. So let's not pretend like the dynamics of black high schools is the same as the dynamic of white high schools. Both nerds and quote unquote jocks are being humbled there. And okay, I'm going to just throw something out there. And I want all of you to listen to me good. You know how they say white men can't jump? Black men can't swim, Asian men can't drive. You know how there's certain things, certain demographics can't really do in mass? Black women cannot seduce men that are not thirsty and humbled. I'm going to repeat that. Black women cannot seduce men that are not thirsty and humble. The entire community is designed to keep the men in it thirsty and humble. So for her to say that what she said about men in Afrotech, men in tech, men who are Fortune 500 with, in tech with tech money. What she really means to say is that if you're expecting to find a guy with tech money that is thirsty and humble, you're not going to find that at Afrotech. And that's the unfortunate truth. Oh, okay. Appreciate the super chat, Mr. Imp. Okay, it says, bro, I work out. I'm a nerd. So that makes me too arrogant for these big backs, wig wearers that aren't looking to do the reach back. Oh, that are looking to do the reach back. I don't think that they ever reached. I think that because if I understand reach back, it's like they've been reaching for someone else, and then they reach back for um, they reach back for whomever they neglected in the past. Um, these bras neglected everybody. Let's start there. They neglected everybody, and they're just going. This falls more akin to waiting at the finish line. Afrotech is the finish line, and there your ass is waiting. It's like, what the hell? Like, what? What?
2015, they tend to downplay the women, especially Black women, who are their peers, and they don't want to date us because they think that they're up now. They have all the options in the world. And
Okay. Maybe I was wrong, but it seems like now she has a different complaint. In addition to, actually, no, this is a addendum to the original complaint, and that is the men are arrogant. She assumes that they don't want to date them um, out of arrogance. See, I'm not the type to say if a woman isn't into me, it's because she's conceited, or because she's in a Pookie Ray Ray, or because she don't like nerds, or because she don't like blacks, unless she explicitly expresses it. Um, when a woman is not into me, and it happens very often. It's because she's not into me, and the reason really don't matter because the reason is not going to put my penis in her mouth. Like unless it's something I can change and is willing to change, I really don't care. And that's the realest thing, there is. Like, I mean, you know, so but she's speculating that they're arrogant. And once again, this comes from the perspective of you can only seduce a humble man. You can only seduce a humble man. So if I cannot seduce him, it's because he's not humble. This is how they think. This is what goes through their brain. This and weave glue. Oh, I can't seduce him, so he's not humble. Read arrogant. They can only seduce humble men. And they're lost without that humility.
optionality is also a disease. So I really want to say this, and I really mean this in a nice way for the girls who are going. Be careful because a lot of these men, I don't think that they're necessarily in a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband stage of life, especially if they recently started working in these environments. It's going to take some time for them to get that out of their system. That's my word of advice.
I got a word of advice. Why don't you fuck it out their system? Why don't you fuck it out their system? Once again, he's got to be horny and he's got to be humble. He's got to be lustful and he's got to be loyal. Without these things, they have nothing. See, here's the thing that other women have figured out because I want to say IQ, but I think it's something else. Um, Here's the thing. With the understanding that it takes men time to be relationship ready, he has to have a certain number of experiences before he's relationship ready. What smarter women are doing is they like, okay, let's get together and let's be together for a while. During that time, you're getting whatever it is out your system. You're getting the fun mode out of your system. And then when you're ready for marriage mode, I'll be there. That's the strategy of the Aisha Currys of the world. That's the strategy. It's like, okay, you got all that out your system. Now where the ring at? They just come and say, where the ring at? Nigga, you don't get to sow any oats. Nigga. You supposed to meet me well, you're at the top of your game and I'm at the bottom of mine. Nigga. The hell is wrong with you? It's because you wasn't the man in high school, huh? Nigga. Now I gotta say it like short. Bitch! Take a listen here. I've always been that nigga. Whether you realized it in junior high, high school, college, grad school, or PhD, I'm that motherfucker and you should have been with me. I'm grown and smart with a big ass dick and a little heart. If I'm arrogant, it's because I deserve that shit. And it ain't shit. You can make all the niggas ain't shit videos you want. You could talk about the community, conquered, beta man. I do not give a fuck. I'm not with them. I know what I am and I know what I'm worth, and you fat as fuck. And I don't need any like high school lessons or wedgies or whatever the fuck you think happened to me in high school. I know my worth and it's worth more than you. And if you want a ride on this penis, bitch, you gotta earn it. That's your motherfucking problem. You think that you could just walk in day one and I just drop to one knee? Bitch! No, you will cook for me indefinitely. Bitch, come trying to count the number of sandwiches she gotta get before you drop to a knee. You gotta get all of them, damn it. You gotta get all the sandwiches. You will be ready when I'm ready. And if not, fuck it. If you are not there when I am ready, that is on you. Bitch! She wants you humble. They want us all humble. They want us all humble from day one. Fellas, make no mistake, you have been set up to be humble. Why do you think they really feel so threatened by white women? Why do you think they feel so threatened by white women? because they know once you're with a white woman, you stepped out of the community. You stepped out of a community that's designed to humble you, and you realize your worth. Once that happens, there's nothing they could do with you but get you a sandwich. There ain't nothing they could do with you. Once you eat that delicious sandwich and you discover mayonnaise because you've been around white people, there's nothing they can do with you. Nothing. Once you are out of oh, and they hate passport dudes because once you get a taste of foreign food, that fish with the teeth that they be serving in the Dominican, I want to say something in Brazil, but I got to tell y'all, Brazilian food is crap. Brazilian food is crap. Crap. That's what I like least about the country. Um, so Colombian food, now that's some food. Once you have that served to you by a woman that could cook, once that happens, you're not gonna look at Keisha the same, and she knows it. Why? Because you are less humble. You are less humble. And this is not a new phenomenon. It's just like this have been talking like this for a long time. A long time. You want to know what happened? And I said this on Shay Sade. Black women have been seducing humble men for years, since the day after slavery. They have been seducing, and some of them during slavery. They have been seducing humble black men for years. And that's all they know how to do now. Black men come home like, honey, how was your day? Well, I shined about 50 shoes today on 25 different pairs of feet, and 8 of them spat on me just because I was Negro. I got tired and went to some water, and a police officer hit me with a baton for drinking at the wrong fountain, for almost drinking at the wrong fountain. I seen a white girl and I looked away, and somebody said I didn't look away fast enough and smacked me twice. That is a humble man. Bitch, I'm free. Do what I want to do, fuck who I want to fuck, and make what I want to make, bitch. My name is not Jim Crow. Fuck you think you talking to? Marry who the fuck I wanna. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. I was just watching Danica, and dude was spitting knowledge. Young boy. Straight question. What's so bad about Brazilian food? Well, it's just not. I mean, it's maybe it's the places I ate, but it was nothing that um stood out to me. Like, well, how I define good food is cheese mixture, a nice sauce on the meat, and and spices. If you get the spices right, which is something that most Latin people do very well. Brazilians are of a difference in that regard. Maybe because they're not Spanish or Portuguese colony, but I mean, fellas in the chat room, help them out. Like, I mean, if y'all been to Brazil, help them out. It's just not. It's just not hitting like that. I mean, it like it just nourishes you. It's not even like, and that's if it don't make you sick. I actually got sick off of it. I said, sadly, black women don't notice me. What the fuck? Listen, they're like 12% of the female population. Like, I mean, if the other 88% notices you, then yeah, I would say you're doing really good. Who in the fuck cares? Like, I mean, they're a very small percentage of the female population. Oh, super chat. All right, hold on. Let me go to that. All right. When a black female meets an educated black man, and he's not simping, she says he's too strict. Yeah, they say strict, arrogant, and he only messes with white women. Trust me, I heard it all before. He only messes with white women and blah blah blah. And then they give a I mean, well, the whole statement he only messes with white women is a test because they want to make sure that you are loyal and lustful. And because a person is in Afrotech, it implies that there's a certain level of loyalty because he goes to black events and he must be into blackness and he chooses women accordingly. That really doesn't pan out the way they want it to. They can't be with upper class black men. Well, they can, I mean, but generally speaking, and this goes back to what I'm about to show y'all. Like, you know, um, these are the women who do it right. Like, um, Danica Marie, for example, right? Like, Danica Marie, um, her husband wasn't, I think he worked at Target or something. Like he was in college, but then when he got out of college, he worked at Target. Because I know when I got out of college, I didn't have a job waiting for me. I tutored math. So, yeah, that's really like, and she was there. And then when he was ready, she was there. When he was ready to pin that ring on it, she was there, and she was still getting sandwiches, and she was still looking thick, sexy. But no, they don't want to do that. They just want to meet you after the bitch. Please kill yourself. All right. By the way, those of you who don't know who Danica Marie is, this is her. Sign up for her. Sign up for her show. And if you're thinking thoughts, don't. She's been married for forever. So this is the young boy at the end I want to tell you about. And see, this is what they call arrogance.
Need to take a big old bite of that peach. Y'all let us know. But that's all I got for y'all today. Like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to check y'all in the next dope discussion. Much love and lots of peace to my crown heads.
Oh, okay. So hold on. I got to go back some. Because she played what he said, but I thought that was the part. Maybe this is it.
And so many of them are reaching these same conclusions of, yeah, I'll just be by myself then. I'm not going to be able to find a woman that I can at least be a friend to first before we start laying down and throwing peaches back. Like, man, we're cooked. But like I'm going to continue to say, I do feel like this is a positive because it's going to do nothing but create more stable, healthy, balanced, strong foundations for relationships because now we're getting back to the basics of getting to know each other. Seeing do we have a lot in common? Seeing if we are genuinely and truly compatible. Because once you enter into the chat X, it creates a lot of distortion.
Let me see.
If they approach this, what level are you?
Dang, she doing highlight reels. I wanna get to where she covered what the young boy was saying. So I watched it on the premiere, so I don't like have a sense of like, but I think he was like one of the last people that went. And
be a friend to first before we start laying down and
So
throwing
is this
people.
dude? Actually, I'm gonna just go to this thing because I don't know if I'll be able to find it like through her channel. So let me see. Actually, you know something? I don't even need to play it. I mean, this is homie, young dude, and he said basically like this, like, um, I just want who I want, and I'm willing to be alone until I get that person. Damn, there is no humility there. There ain't shit black women could do with this dude, but get him a sandwich, get down with the program, get down and lay down. That's all the fuck they can do. And they can't stand that. They call that arrogance. And then they try to shame it out of you. Like, you ain't getting nothing. Like, bitch, kill yourself. There's nothing you could do. Once a brother have reached this point of self-awareness and understanding of self-worth, and in his case, like, personal potential and all that stuff, like, there's nothing they can do with that. They need humility. They need men with take what you can get, not wait for what you want mentality. I'm going to repeat that. They need black men to have a take what you can get, not go for what you want. That's it. That's all. They want black men to be goodwill shoppers with Gucci money. That's what they want. It's not happening. And they're mad at Afrotech for not producing brothers like that. They're upset. They're upset. They're upset because of the advent of the internet. You see, this type of grooming, black men believe it or not, you've been groomed. You've been groomed to be taken advantage of by Keisha. However, that type of grooming only works if there's no outside influence. But if you're a single mother raised in the hood where the neighbors is a single mother and your teachers are single mothers and your mama's a single mama and your aunties and there's no men out there to actually tell you your worth, they'll keep that worth a secret for a long time because they don't want men to reach this young brother's level of awareness.
Just back like, man, we're cool.
They don't. Once he reaches this stage, he is out of their reach. Now, I'm going to give some pushback. I'm going to give them some leeway on this. Men, we want the same thing. Press 1 in the chat room if you had a 9 that thought she was a 4. There's nothing better than a baddie that don't know she's a baddie. Hey, I'll admit that. That is a spectacular position to be in. That is a spectacular position to be in. And black women have enjoyed that position for a very long time. And nobody is going to be the first to tell somebody in that situation that she could do better. I'll never forget. I was working with this dude. Imagine like a Ron Jeremy looking nigga, right? Just like one of those fucking overly slimy looking white dudes that's overweight and stuff. And by slimy, I mean like they sweat far too often. Like when everybody else is regular temperature, these niggas be sweating. He was one of those dudes. And his wife worked with us. And he was a supervisor. I was a young dude. He was a supervisor, and he only made like $1 more than me, which means that he only made like $1 more than her an hour. And I didn't understand the concept. She was Russian. or Slavic of some sort. I didn't understand the concept of mail order brides at that age. Well, I heard it, but I always thought it was like Oriental women. Um, and it was still like a very abstract thing. But once I realized, because I thought that they were just coworkers. Because like if you've seen the two of them, like the relationship didn't make any sense whatsoever. So I'm looking, one of those, and she was nice too. She had the personality too. She was real sweet. I was like, this relationship makes no damn sense. But you see, she didn't know her worth in America. And it was only a matter of time before she went to a Raiders game or a Warriors game or A's game or a Giants game or a 49ers game. It was only a matter of time before she realized her true potential. You think he was going to tell her? No. So people look for that type of advantage. And he enjoyed it when he enjoyed it. Now, what black women are willing to do that no other group of people, men or women, are willing to do for that advantage is raise their kids in that way. In order for a black man to do something like that, the equivalent to a black man doing something like that would be to see that his daughter is cute or whatever and understand that she has the potential to be very attractive and not tell her, call her ugly ass bitch every morning until she go out and get with a man who she could do better. That's the black community. They every morning, your mama tell you ain't shit, and you need to take what you can get because you ain't shit. Black men never do that to their daughters. They never do that to their daughters. And we really don't care if the daughter gets with a white man. If a daughter gets with a white billionaire, we happy for her. Black women want you to be humble. Yeah, Lena said it best. Like black women literally groom whole generations for this nonsense. No one else does that. We all appreciate a good discount. Like if a farmer's daughter or something like that, she grew up in a rural community. There's only 100 men in her small town, and 98 of those men are her husband, are her cousin. And she comes to the big city not knowing that she's the finest thing in town. Like, hey, that's a good deal. But never will we do that to our daughters. Black women do this to their sons, and they've been doing it for a long ass time. But now with the internet, brothers will realize, one way or another, that they the shit. They have a better sense of their worth. And that scares them. When you are that group of people that only know how to seduce humble men who are not humble scares them. That's why she made those comments about Afrotech. Somebody says since slavery. Well, I mean, it depends because black women didn't have to do it in the Jim Crow era. And that's because society did it to black men. I mean, I don't know. I didn't grow up in the Jim Crow era, but just having constant reminders through signs and stuff that there's certain things that are too good for you, like the front of the bus, is a constant reminder that you're a second-class citizen. and which there's probably some humbling going on there, some humiliation going on with that. So when that ended in 1965, what did black women do? They picked up the slack. They're like, oh, society isn't going to humble black men anymore, so now I got to do it. And they've been doing it ever since. Because men are becoming more disciplined, they're realizing their masculine identity. Absolutely. You heard of the movie coming out called Is God Is? Seems like another black misandrous propaganda movie where they paint black men as the villain and monsters. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they do. I mean, Lifetime is like dedicated to that. I mean, fortunately, it seems like those movies are losing popularity, which is a good thing. Which is maybe black women are in the right trajectory. All right, let's see if I can find. He Is God is looking like some straight black misandry. Wait. Okay, let's see what she's talking about. Like I clicked on to look for dude, but this came up on my feed, so I'm just curious. So I'll share it with you. This came up as like the default before I got to type in like his handle. Men are loving themselves now. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Once a man loves himself more than pussy, then they there's nothing they can do. Well, she does have those chest ornaments. If you're talking about the last chick, she really don't. But don't forget, black men will literally attack black women that are submissive to black men. Yeah, exactly. Because what submissive black men do, or excuse me, what submissive black women do is they unhumble a black man. It unhumbles them. And they don't like that. Because what they're doing is it's like, listen, they groom these men to be humble from birth. And then the moment a woman comes and treats him like a man, he becomes less humble. Which means that all it takes is a few sandwiches to undo decades of conditioning. They don't like that. That's why they hate those women. Because they're undoing decades of conditioning. What if Simba was raised in a coven of hyenas? He must never know he's king of the pride. Yeah. Yeah. And those hyenas would worry that he meets a lion one day or a lioness.
The word preference incorrectly. For example, I prefer someone who speaks another language, especially if it's Spanish or French. However, I do not require someone to speak another language. I do require someone to be taller than me, and I'm 5'11". So I would prefer for someone to be Catholic, but I require someone to be a person of faith, right? That's the difference between preference and requirement. With all that being said, I grew up in a household where my features were affirmed, right? I grew up in a household where my mom was not playing. My parents grew up in the civil rights movement, right? So my mom would always talk about the baby doll test. Her biggest fear was like, I would have to take the baby doll test at school and I'd pick up the white doll. So every doll in my house was black. Every book in my house had black illustrations. Every show we were allowed to watch had black families, and particularly black families thriving. And our theme music going to school was I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown. So I was just brought up a little bit differently. So with that being said, one of the greatest culture shocks for me going to high school, college, even post-grad living in New York City was everyone trying to convince me that Black women weren't tea. Because they required someone to be not Black, but they found me to be somewhat interesting, which I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to unpack that with you. Block. However, I've noticed that as I get older and as a lot of people are trying to race down to get down the aisle because they just want so badly to become a wife, they're not unpacking how they are terrorizing themselves because they're not meeting the requirements of a man who doesn't want them. We saw this with Brittany and Devontae on Love is Blind, right? Brittany was a Black Hispanic woman. Devontae's requirement was that she be white. And it wasn't clicking to her. And I just am seeing too many Britneys in my life, and I want to just shake them and be like, be okay with not being somebody else's requirement. Because I do think that mindset will apply to every other facet of your life, because you'll be able to detach from alcohol.
Okay. She's smart, but this video is a bunch of nonsense, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to find the video I was looking for. Let's see. They developed a very MMA orientation to the art, especially when dealing with other women. Elaborate. Let's see. All of a man's female relatives will tell a brand new girlfriend upon first meeting that he can make his own plate. Yeah, that doesn't happen in my family, but I'm pretty sure it happens in families. Yeah. I mean, now there are women in my family who would do that, but would all of them do that? No, I know. I have pick-me members in my family. All right. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this thing. Oh, cool. I think that this is it. So it's one of his top like videos. Oh, crap. Okay. So yeah, that's how you know he was spitting bars on that video, because here, I'll show you. Like all of his other videos have like 1 or 2 likes, but this one has like all the likes. Like if you were to line up all the likes that he's ever gotten ever in TikTok, 99% of them would be this video, which has like 517K, and the video that came after it has 1. And this one, like 1, 2, you got 30, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to click this one now. I'm going to click the 30 one. Then I'm going to call it quits. All right.
Men only act right for the person they really want to be with. Like, you over there stressing.
Right. But no, what he's saying, what he's spitting is true.
His shit together. You want to do this, you want to do that, you want to bring flowers, you want to do on dates. But it's like, honestly, he does not like you like that to be doing all that. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, he does not see you as that. He doesn't see you as a wife. He doesn't damn near sure no see you as no goddamn
this
girlfriend.
Is a different video.
You know what I'm saying? He probably just playing the field. You feel me? A lot of y'all, some of y'all girls be stressing about like,
my bad. This is a different video. This is he's talking about something else. Let me see if I could match the out. All right, this is the one. Okay, so this one only got this one only got 30.
I'm at the stage in my life where I want who I want, and I'm with what I want. I don't want it. Like, I'm not gonna settle for anybody. I'm not gonna just have these casual conversations with A, B, C, and D, and E, F, and G. Like, I don't got time for that, bro. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'd rather just talk to the person I want for real. So whatever person that you want, I advise y'all, just wait on it. Attract it, right? Don't chase the person you want. Just attract them. They'll be around. They'll come around. But that's where I'm at, where in my head, like I just want the person that I want. And if I don't get the person that I want, it's not the end of the world, but I'm not chasing and I'm not settling. So it comes.
And there you have it. I'm not settling. Those words, those three words, scares the weave off of Keisha. It scares the fake lashes off of her. I would say it scares the fat off of her, but we can only hope. But it scares Keisha. I'm not settling. All your life you've been told to settle. And this is a young dude. He's been unconditioned at a very young age. I'm not settling. What can Keisha do with that? For generations, they've been teaching black men to settle. Now, all of a sudden, I'm not settling. His mama didn't teach him that. His daddy didn't teach him that. Because the only way his daddy is probably in his life is if he settled. So where's he getting this from? He's getting it from me. Proud of this young man.
It doesn't come, who cares? Right? I'm at the stage in my life.
Like I said, Gen Z dudes are on different time. Well, they're informed. They're enormously informed. And once again, it's harder to run game on people who are informed. Listen, out of high school, I was working at Burger King, and there was an office job, and I didn't know much about it. I just knew it was an office job. I went in with my resume, with my suit on, and I got there late or something, and they said, "Oh no, we're not doing interviews anymore." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, can I come back for an interview?" They said, "Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that. You got the job." I was like, "For real?" Like, "Yeah, you got the job." It's like, "Oh crap, okay, that's great." So I'm like, "Yeah, I got an office job." And then I went um, a little bit after, and they had like this orientation. And it was a dude there, brother, giving like a speech to about 30 other people, including myself. And it wasn't a job as we understand the definition of it. It was a job where you sell perfume and cologne. So I don't know if they still do this, but every now and again, you'll see somebody like out the trunk of their car selling imitation cologne and imitation perfume and stuff like that. And the whole thing is it smells just like the regular, and you can't really patent a fragrance. You can only patent the formula behind the fragrance, which means that somebody can just add an extra ingredient that don't really smell like anything, and next thing you know, you have Tom Ford. You have Tom Ford with a drop of vinegar in it, but and they sell it to you like that. Um, so that's what it was. And I would rather securely flip burgers at Burger King than to do some crap like that. So the whole thing was a scam. It was a hustle. There was a lot of hustles like that for young people who got their information about a job through the newspaper, the Oakland Tribune. That's what I did. I went to the Tribune, went to the Help Wanted section and looked for work. And so I went to a couple of places that weren't real jobs. They were just that. They wanted you to sell one thing or another on the street. So fast forward, a generation later, and my little cousin is looking for work, and he goes online. He comes across a company, and it was the same thing. It was the same thing that they tried to hustle. They just put these advertisements out for work, general work when you don't have any developed skills yet, and they like you can make such and such, and then you go, and then they give you this spiel, and they try to get yourself cologne or whatever, toys or whatever they sell on the street. But this time we have the internet, and you just type in the name of the company, and first thing that come up, scam. So he didn't go to the orientation. Same scam, different generations. There's a lot of things that we fell for, we being Gen X, myself, that we fell for that Gen Z doesn't necessarily have to fall for. I lost $20. That's it. I lost $20 in my entire life to one of those 3 card Monty niggas. You think Gen Z is falling for that? No, they're way too informed. I don't even think they have those people on the streets anymore. It's like no, because everybody knows it's a scam, it's a hustle. All you have to do is Google it, and you know what the scam is and exactly how it works. Keisha is using old scams with new technology. You're not going to keep your son isolated. You're not going to keep a Gen Z kid isolated from the world, because the world is literally at his fingertips. It's in his pocket right now. You're not going to do that. King Pix is it's not even, oh, you're talking King Pix. All right. So yeah. All right. So I want to thank let me see if I got them all. Oh crap, I missed one. All right, shout out to Mr. N. I appreciate you. Missed this one. It says, why are so many black females complaining about the amount of married men at Afrotech? Single black men with tech money are not simping. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, were they complaining about the amount of married men? Well, but they are complaining about the lack of simping. Like, Sergeant Willie P said that they're looking for an on point simp, and that is a formula that they haven't yet mastered. And they're willing to raise, I mean, it's kind of like finding a humble dime, like most beautiful women know that they're beautiful women. So, the humility that you would like doesn't really come around too often. That's why when I asked y'all a question, have you ever had that? Nobody pressed 1. It's because those really don't exist. You guys are younger than me. Like, I mean, they're not going to exist. They got the internet to blow their head up at a very young age. That wasn't always the case. So yeah, complaining about married men at Afrotech, single black men with tech money are not simping. Unfortunately, that's the true complaint. Unfortunately for them, that is, and that's the true complaint. They're not simping. It's especially, in tech, you're far more likely to, for one, in tech, you're far more likely to have had interactions with non-black women, and that's not something that you choose. That's just something that happens. Even if you are raised with lust and loyalty, in college you're just going to find them, even if you do go to a HBCU. They, you're going to find non-black people, particularly non-black females, um, in that. It's unavoidable, and they're studying what you're studying. So yeah, it's ridiculous to assume that you know that the loyalty aspect isn't going to be there. Now they could get them hooked before college, but stupidity. Let's see. He's beginning to believe Morpheus. Elaborate. Because I know the whole red pill analogy comes from the Matrix, but yeah. All right. But yeah, so I'm glad I caught all of them. So I want to thank the Cash App Super Chats, managers, moderators, those who are listening silently, those participating in the chat. Hit that like button on your way out. This is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.